This shows the real limitation of using a low-speed vehicle on Viewpoint Road in Palomar Estates West. Although these vehicles are legal for local travel, two gates block direct access to nearby shops and services, limiting their practical use for everyday trips.
So here's the question. Why isn't San Marcos doing more with low-speed vehicles? They're already legal on a lot of neighborhood streets, and they could make short trips around town a lot easier, cleaner, and less expensive. It really seems like the bigger issue isn't the vehicle itself. It's that the city hasn't fully planned for how people could actually use them. LSVs are electric, street legal, and really made for short local trips. We're talking about the kind of everyday drives people make all the time, going to a park, a coffee shop, a school, or a nearby store. Instead of taking a full-size car every single time, this gives people another option that actually fits the trip. And just to be clear, these aren't golf carts. They're registered, insured, and built for street use. They have the equipment you'd expect, like seat belts, mirrors, lights, and turn signals. So when people hear low-speed vehicle, it's important to understand we're talking about a real, regulated street-legal vehicle. In California, LSVs can legally drive on streets posted up to 35 miles per hour. That already includes a lot of neighborhood roads and local connectors. So this isn't really about whether state law allows it. The real issue is whether San Marcos has enough connected routes to make that legal access actually useful for everyday travel. This is exactly the kind of vehicle that makes sense for short neighborhood trips. Going to the park, heading to school, grabbing coffee, or stopping by a local store doesn't always require a bigger, heavier car. For a lot of everyday errands, an LSV is just a simpler and more practical fi. They can also be a lot cheaper to operate than a regular gas car. For short local trips, charging costs can stay pretty low, and day-to-day expenses may be a lot easier to manage. So for many households, this isn't just about cleaner transportation. It's also about saving money on everyday travel. So, what's getting in the way? It's not the vehicle. It's the lack of safe, connected routes. Even if LSVs are legal on certain streets, people still need good crossings, connected paths, and roads that actually feel safe to use. Without that, it's hard for residents to count on them for everyday trips. If San Marcos planned better local connections, safer crossings, and clearer signage, LSVs could become a real option for getting around town. This doesn't require reinventing everything. It just means identifying practical routes, fixing a few key barriers, and making short local travel feel much more doable. If the city did that, it could mean more mobility, lower costs, and cleaner short trips for a lot of people. It could help residents reach nearby places without always needing a full-size car. And for families, older adults, and anyone making frequent local trips, that could make getting around feel a whole lot easier. Low-speed vehicles aren't just a novelty. They're a practical option for short trips around town, and they deserve a real place in local planning. If San Marcos wants cleaner, more affordable, and more accessible transportation, then it should start building the routes and policies that make LSV use actually work. And there's one more reason this matters. If oil prices spike again, households that can use an LSV for local trips may be less exposed to those sudden jumps at the pump. A lot of everyday driving is short-distance driving, and if some of that can shift from gasoline to electricity, families have a little more protection when fuel markets get hit. That won't solve everything, but it can make a real difference.
Take a look at this proposed 35-mile-per-hour low-speed vehicle route. By using less congested streets, it could create safer access to businesses and services across the city, without adding more traffic to San Marcos Boulevard, where many of these short trips already happen. It's a practical, lower-cost solution that builds on streets the city already has, and may require only a few targeted speed limit changes, from 45 to 35 miles per hour. And the benefits are straightforward: smaller vehicles, less congestion, and less pollution. If this matters to you, contact your city council and ask for safer, connected low-speed vehicle routes in San Marcos. Your voice can help move this forward.